Okay, I'm back. It's part two. And my video is entitled Us Women, Us People of Color Have Problems. It's hard for us. Something like that with people of color. But you'll know it's color in there. So back to public assistance. Back to welfare, HRA. So I had to rely on them. I had to depend on them. Whatever they decide to give me, I had to be satisfied. I couldn't say nothing. And I mean I was so soul SOLE dependent on them. Right? And sometimes I would want to get extra stuff or get something from me or in that, anything in that down that lane. Oh, my thing coming off. But I wouldn't get it. I couldn't get it. Wait a minute. Oh, what's the name coming off? Okay, let's take this off. It's my headphones. Okay. So, I wouldn't get it. I kind of like hold it in my hand because I don't know whether y'all can hear me good when it's down in there like that. So I would go to the next one of the three people, one of the two people, because I already know the third person wasn't going to give me nothing extra. Because I already tried with them. And it was no. So anyway, I had to deal with that a year. And in the midst of that year, I was complacent. I was like, okay, so they're not going to help me, so I'm not going to even try, right? So I just left it like that. I went this whole year, and even though they was throwing hints, the main person of the group was throwing hints, you got to be taking care of people. People need to get out there and work. They want to spend up your money and stuff like that. And I'll be honest with you, even though I'm a type of person that does not like people talking about me in a negative way, like, who am I? But at that time, I felt like, I don't like this. But even though I didn't like it, I wasn't doing nothing about it. I had become satisfied with that $20 or $25. I had become satisfied with them giving me food, whatever they gave me. They would give me a pack of meat and maybe some milk. I never got the goodies. Like, if I wanted some cereal, it would be cornflakes. Something like that. I didn't have the freedom to pick what I want or get what I want. I even asked what I want. I was very controlled, right? And I let it go. I didn't, I just felt that's how life was. I'm in this predicament due to the fact that I decided to quit my job, right? So I can't blame nobody for me quitting my job, and I'm not going out there to get another job because I'm trying to get my kids back. Now, here was the catch now. Now, they said to me, when we get back in the courts and they say, oh, you want your kids back, you'll have to get a job. Right? So when it's presented in the court, I say to the judge, Judge, I'm really afraid to go get a job. And so the judge is like, Ms. Jordan, why are you afraid to get a job? I said, because the same agency is the one that caused me to quit my job. So they said, So she going through the papers. She said, I don't see that in here nowhere. I said, well, Your Honor, you wouldn't see it in there because they the one who did it. They said, she said, explain that to me. So I went to the I went through the explanation, explaining to them, and they turned and looked at the worker. It was the same worker. Is that true? Yes, Your Honor, it is true. They was of another culture. I don't want nobody to think this is a racist video, so I'm not going to, elaborate on that culture. But they wasn't American. So the person was saying, yes, Your Honor, but we did not really think that she was going to quit her job. So, you got to be careful what you say in the courts, because everything's written down, and the judge, if she's smart enough, is going to pay attention to what you say and use it against you. That's the reason why they say when they arrest you, anything that you say can and may be used against you in the court of law. So you got to be very careful. That's why they always say you don't say nothing when you get arrested. So now that judge caught what she said. Oh, so you are admitting that you did tell her to quit the job. And you're saying that you didn't think she was going to quit the job. What did you think? What did you think this mother was going to do? Did you not think that she was going to take her children over her job? And what kind of work you was doing, Miss Jordan? So I explained to them what it was. And you know what made it so crazy? She knew the company. Because she said, I know that company very well because they have did some documents for me. They have did some refacing of books for me. That's the kind of company it was. It was to reface, old books, and because it was evidence in the court. So they had to come, and the lawyers would send it to us, and we had to take those pages and make copies of them and put them in a book, and we had all the equipment there to bound it. And when we pack up them boxes to send it, because sometimes we would get a job and we had like a half an hour to get it done. So everybody on the floor had to come together and take a part of that box and get it together. And I would be the QCer. I would be the one that they would assign me to check everybody's work and check the box before it goes out. So if that box get to the courts, get to the courts and to that person who it belongs to, anything is wrong with anything within that box, it falls on me because I'm the QCer. That's why you see little tags on some clothing, if not all of them, that got QC on there. That's called quality control. So that means I had to check the quality of these books and papers and printing and stuff like that. But anyway, so she said, yes, I know. And those people work very hard and get paid very well, because I know they do. She said, because I pay them. So I know how their salary go. And you caused this young lady to quit that job due to the fact of you saying to her, you'll be able to keep your kids. And then you went in there and took them kids anyway? Right? It wasn't a court to compensate for what they call that when you going through there's a word where you go through a lot of stress and stuff, and you get that money for that particular thing. So she said y'all better be glad that that's not the kind of court. Miss Jordan, if I was you, I would take them to court so that you can get that money, so you can get paid for your struggles. I'm using a different word, but she, as a judge, used another word. For your, how can I say it? But I'm sure you'll know what I'm trying to say, right? So now, she awarded the kids back to me. And back then, I don't know whether it's like that now, but back then, when your children is taken from you through ACS, whatever agency that you're in, when the agency returns your children back to you, you get a check for each child. And they help you if you need any, like, bedding for you. They don't buy furniture, all that stuff, but they buy the miscellaneous stuff. So if you need some pods, you need some food, you need some bedding, they get those type of things for you, for the kids. Oh, correction. They did buy beds. Yeah. The money would be, they give you the money, and the money is for the children. Anything that the children need, I was to buy. But they also provide the money. They give you, the beds. If you need beds, ACS give you beds. I tell you no lie. ACS furnished my apartment quite a few times when they took my kids. When they do evaluation through that 60-day or 90-day, what's that, investigation, however long it is, they come in your house and check your house. And if you get a good worker, right, they will help you get things that you need. So sometimes they can go in people's house and they automatically see the things that they need, the beds, the dressers, stuff like that. But if you have a bed and you have a dresser and it looks okay, but you still got an issue with it, back then you would let ACS know, and ACS will put that in. They bought Pampers for my baby. They bought milk, formula for my baby. Oh, the ACS, I don't know how ACS now. ACS was deemed to be very bad and stuff, but back then, in my time, I got some overtime. I got some good workers. Not all the time, overtime. So anyway, with that being said, I got my kids back. I got the house furnished. I have food in my refrigerator. I moved to another place because ACS was in my life for about 6 to 7 years. So each time they would come, I would get things from them. And each time they would return the kids back to me, I got money. So unfortunately, the kids had to go through the different homes and stuff, foster care and stuff like that. But that's just my life. That's how it was, And the fact that I couldn't really work because I was really making sure that my kids had some place to live. We never lived in the projects. We always lived in private houses. This building that is the second building that out of my 60 years that we lived in, that was managed, where I had to pay rent to a management. All my apartments, I paid rent. The rent was directly to a landlord. I interact with the landlord. The landlord was a super. You see what I'm saying? So, in my earlier years, I must have had moved to 3 or 4 different apartments in the different boroughs. But coming down in my 50s, my late 40s into my 60s, I've been to an apartment where I stayed 15 years, 12 years. And now I'm here for 5 years. This will make the 5th year, 1921 to 2023, 24, yeah. Come June, it'll be 5 years I was living here. Now, unfortunately, we got to move, and that's because I have to accommodate my husband because he needs his own room. He has a lot of medical equipment in there, and there's no room for it because it's not big enough. So, we have to put a dresser in there. We got the TV that's on the nightstand. We got his bed. Then we got all his continence supplies. And then we got his wheelchair. They approved him a lift where we have to lift him up out of the bed. And so the room doesn't really accommodate everything. So when I go to move out, I have to really look for an apartment. And anybody that come across this video and y'all live in New York City, within Brooklyn area, I don't too much want the Bronx, but I would take Queens, Brooklyn, and even Manhattan I would take. But I really don't want the Bronx. And the reason why I don't want the Bronx is because the commute is too far. Even in driving. My daughter's planning on getting a car this year. So you may say, oh, well, you got a car so you can travel. No, that is true, but I don't want too much distance for traveling. I need the car to get where I need to go. I don't want the car too much to be used for distant driving, because that puts a whole lot on your engine and then the wheel. So at least if we within the borough, then all she got to do is drive me to church. We'll be able to get Tracy around a lot. We'll be able to take him around a lot. Well, we won't be able to take him unless I get, nah, I'm just thinking, because the van, we need a van that has a what you call a wheelchair equipped to it. I don't know. So if anybody come across here and see this video and know of apartments or maybe apartment in the house. Hold on one second. Somebody calling me.